My boyfriend proposed with a dazzling fireworks display promising eternal love, only for me to find a photo of him and his ex tucked inside his custom suit pocket. For our 10th wedding anniversary, my husband, Edward Collins, lit up the entire city with fireworks just for me. The neon lights of skyscrapers sparkled with his grand proclamation of love. Emma, I will love you forever. Our love was the envy of everyone, a romance so dazzling that the whole city knew our names. Every year on my birthday, he'd charter a private yacht. On ordinary days, it was endless flowers and thoughtful gifts to the world. I was the luckiest woman alive, but only I knew the truth. It was all for show. For her, the one who got away. Just hours ago, I found something in the inner pocket of Edward's suit jacket, a carefully laminated photograph of him and his first love taken 10 years ago. On the back, in his unmistakable handwriting, were the words, "My one true love." 10 years of what I thought was true love turned out to be nothing more than a cruel joke. Without a word, I left divorce papers on his desk, packed our child's things, and walked out of the Collins villa. But after I was gone, Edward lost his mind. Sheep BP, I slid the photo back into his pocket, my fingers trembling. It was old, worn at the edges, but carefully laminated as if the owner had cherished it all these years. My chest tightened as I stared at my phone, typing the name Amelia Moore into the search bar. She was a travel blogger with a decent following, living abroad for years. He had loved her deeply, and after she left the country, they hadn't been in touch, or so I thought. The suit jacket where I'd found the photo. It was a custom anniversary gift we just ordered last week. The photo couldn't have been placed there long ago. Scrolling through Amelia's latest post, I saw her caption. "It's been 10 years. Don't I deserve to chase my happiness too?" Adjured beneath. Her words was a picture of a plane ticket back to the country. The date today, my vision blurred. My knees nearly buckled. I had married Edward, thinking that he'd let go of his past for 10 years. We lived what I thought was a perfect love, attentive, harmonious like newlyweds. Now I realized he'd never truly moved on. Why? Emma, what's on your mind? Edward's familiar voice pulled me from my thoughts. I turned to see him holding a bag of desserts, tilting his head as he smiled at me. "Are you feeling lightheaded again? I stopped by the bakery and got your favorite." He walked over and took my hand as if it were the most natural thing in the world. His eyes flickered to the suit in my hands. "Why are you doing this yourself? You could have asked one of the servants." With a practiced nonchalance, he took the suit from me and hung it neatly on the rack. In that split second, I caught him, glancing at the inner pocket. The relief on his face when he saw the photo still there was subtle but unmistakable. My heart sank deeper. Edward led me to the couch, frowning slightly. "Why are your hands so cold? Did you catch a chill last night?" I shook my head wordlessly, my mind in turmoil. Last night, Edward had orchestrated a citywide spectacles of fireworks, declaring his love for me to the entire world. For a brief shining moment, I'd believed I was the happiest woman alive. Now I knew the truth. Even as he proclaimed his eternal love for me, he kept a picture of his first love right next to his heart. Overnight, I went from being on top to hitting rock bottom. Edward opened the dessert box and handed me a fork, his usual gentleness on full display. Before I could take a bite, his phone buzzed on the table. He glanced at the screen and declined the call in one swift motion. The flicker of hesitation in his eyes didn't escape me. "Who was that?" I asked softly. His response came smoothly as if he'd rehearsed it 100 times. "Just the new manager at work doesn't know better than to call at this hour." Edward smiled at me, his gaze filled with the same affection that used to make my heart flutter. Off the clock, my priority is spending time with my wife. Once that smile had been my world. Now it only made me sick. When his phone screen lit up earlier, I'd glimpsed the contact's name, my love. Edward was a man of precision. His phone book was filled with full names, formal and exact. I teased him countless times to change my name to something more endearing, but he'd always refused, saying it would confuse his contacts. It wasn't that he couldn't.